All right. So as you can tell, welcome on into Legal Ham to the Face. Go catch us on all of our socials at Ham Illegal. Go give us that like, subscribe, follow, repost, tweet, comment, whatever you want to do there. Also find us on Network 216. Brian, it is so nice to have you back. But I do have to give a shout out to everybody that sat in the guest chair while you were gone. We
Definitely.
had Justin, we
Absolutely.
had Chris, we had Tony from the Dude Network, we had Cross the Corner podcast or at the Corner podcast, the Cavs.
Yeah.
You had the Man Cave joined us with Big Kev. Nick Carnes joined us. And if I'm forgetting people, because I know I am forgetting people, thank you guys for stepping in the guest chair, helping me out and helping us out with Illegal Ham to the Face. Love having you guys on. We made some good friendships out of that, Bri. I do know that the Dude Network wants to do a smoking show with us. So I can't wait to get into that because they are very, very good at what they do with smoking meat, Bri.
Yeah, so I've heard. I watched that one a little bit live, but then I caught the rest of it, I think, the next day, and I was intrigued. So they got a fan out of me.
So Justin said, Bri has practiced changing diapers now. Maybe he can be the new groundskeeper in Ann Arbor. Oh, boy.
That was creative. I'll be down with that.
That was definitely a new one. We're not doing Ohio State, Michigan tonight because we got too much Cleveland stuff to talk about. But Bri, how have you been, brother? You've had a couple months. You know,
good.
Baby is here. Baby is healthy.
Yep, baby's healthy. Thought about maybe having her make her debut tonight, but she's a little fussy, so we might hold off on that. Maybe she'll make a pop-in appearance. And yeah, I mean, what I tell everyone is the big stuff is good. So the little stuff we can deal with. So, you know, everything that, the bumps in the road and everything, you know, we're handling that with stride and all the big stuff, you know, she's healthy. She's starting to smile a little bit. So, so that warms that's been the coolest part so far in the first 2 months is, when she starts to smile. So other than that, it's been, like Justin said, it's been a lot of changing diapers. It's been a lot of, feedings. It's been a lot of rocking to sleep, trying to get her to do whatever we can to get her to stop crying. But you know, as all the parents know out there, it's some days are good, some days not so good. And you know, shout out to my wife who's handling the vast majority of that and doing a great job and you know, just keeps me in awe every single day what she's doing and just keeping a positive attitude through the whole thing. Because there's times where, man, I get frustrated and I don't know what to do. I'm out of answers and look to the heavens like, come on, give me something here. And I just have to sit there and kind of chew on it for a while. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. But yeah, I'm sure I don't want to bore. There's plenty of parents out there that know exactly what I'm going through. And yeah, you know, I don't want to bore them too much reliving that.
Our boy, always positive, Jay, has chimed in and said, congratulations, Bri.
What's up, Jay?
Dude,
Thank you. They have brother.
Had some back-to-back episodes. Go check them out on Voice of Land. They had Oma as one of their guests.
I saw
last week, and they added
awesome.
A new co-host to the chair. So congratulations to them. Go catch them at Voice of Land podcast.
Yeah.
Play Network. So they got their stuff going. Justin said, congrats on the baby Ohio State fan. Justin, I am going to try to push that as best as I can.
So somebody else in the house, but I told her she doesn't have the discipline. She couldn't probably name you one Ohio State player, but she jokes with me.
Uncle Fatty is going to come over every Saturday, and we're just going to sit and watch Ohio State football.
Her family's from Mansfield, so that's closer to Columbus. So there's plenty of Ohio State fans in that family. But she, I think, just to bust my chops, she claims to be, but she's not really.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm just so happy for you guys, bud. And you and I have been talking, you know, off camera and all that stuff for, you know, the past 2 months. And like I said on air, bud, I'm so happy for you. It's awesome to be a dad. Just wait till you get to the giggling stage, because once she starts laughing at you and giggling, you want to talk about your heart melting. Like, it is something different when that happens. And I also do have a good shout out to Charlie. Charlie Man got his braces off today.
That a boy.
Oh,
Way
yeah.
to go, Charlie. That's a big day.
He is pumped. He was so excited. He goes, I want gummy bears. I want gummy worms. I want gum.
Skittles.
He's going to
Starburst.
town. I'm like, all right, well, let's go shopping, buddy. We're going to go shopping. Let's do this. But no, I'm just glad everybody's happy and healthy over there. And it is amazing when that mom light switch clicks on, buddy. How amazing mothers are, Bri. It is unbelievable, isn't it?
I told her, the last few months leading up to it's like, what are we doing? Neither one of us know what's going on. And I tried to reassure him, like, hey, your mother instincts are just going to take over. And they have. It's crazy how nature just kind of prepares you for this. And, your body prepares your body. And it blows my mind. It's far outside of my understanding, but it's crazy. It's wild. It's awesome how it happens.
All right. So, Bri, we are going to get into our show tonight. Now, normally we do a trivia at the beginning of the show, but we're doing a stripped down show today because Bri and I have not talked sports together in like 2 months. We got so much to catch up on with Browns training camp, news from the Guardians, news from the Cavs. So what we're going to do, though, is because normally we do our trivia and it's brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland, and we have all these beautiful city dogs that need to be adopted. I'm going to play you this video that we had 2 weeks ago. Some of these dogs are still adoptable at City Dogs Cleveland. Please go check them out. Now, I know the $21 adoptions are over for the month of July, but they still need help. If you cannot volunteer, please donate. Give your time or adopt. Please donate, volunteer, give your time to City Dogs Cleveland and help them out however you can. So, Bri, here are some adoptable dogs from City Dogs Cleveland. What'd you think of that, buddy?
Oh, that was awesome. Those all look like great dogs. Great dog. Whatever you want. There's a little bit of everything. Big dog, small dog, medium size. So a lot of love to give. What it looked like to me.
Yes, it is. And stay tuned. We will be having news coming up here within the next week or two about our Browns watch party, finalizing stuff with City Dogs and a local establishment here that we're going to get set up so we can go watch the Browns game. I believe it's going to be the Browns Commanders. I got to check the schedule, though, but I think that's what we're going to be shooting for, and I got to get a hold of Beth and make sure with her that it's okay. Yeah, we're good, buddy. What's up?
Hi.
Okay, you can't. Okay.
Hey, Charlie or Alexander?
Okay, Alexander.
Oh, okay.
And I would normally bring him in to tell hi, but he's pretty much got no clothes on right now, so we cannot do that to the YouTube network out here. We do have a PG kind of.
Got to keep that. Nope. Can't go 13 here. Not yet.
James is here. Says, "Hey, all, missed you, Big Bri."
What's up, James?
Bri, they're all coming out.
You man, James. I appreciate it.
All right, Bri. So let's get into our Cleveland headlines, buddy, because we got a lot of them. And he put clothes on.
Hi.
So say hi, buddy.
At least the shirt. What's up, bud?
Subscribe.
All right, get on.
I like that shirt. Is that a chest shirt?
It is, because they went as the knight and what else?
Oh, that's right.
For Halloween?
Yeah, we did.
So.
Anyways.
Remember those pictures? Yeah.
Hey, it's my house. I don't know what to tell you, Bri.
It's a wild time.
All right, so Cleveland headlines tonight. First off, Bri, since last we talked, JP Bickerstaff was the Cavs head coach.
Yeah.
We did not get an extension from, good God, Money Mitchell, Spider Mitchell.
Yep.
We now have gotten an extension from Mobley. Now Jared Allen. Bri, what are your thoughts about the money moving around here with the Cavs? New hire of the coach and all that stuff. I mean, how did you take it when all this went down?
Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions. Mitchell. I think Mitchell. We need to celebrate that and take it for what it is, because that was a tremendous signing. And other than LeBron coming back, that was like one of the best things that has happened to the Cavs in the offseason. So that was tremendous. Signing Evan Mobley was kind of, kind of expected. You don't want to take these things for granted, but you kind of figured that, hey, after your first contract, even LeBron signed a second contract after his rookie contract was up. But a joy to get him back. And then, I mixed emotions when it comes to JV. The Cavs are going to tell you that he was the problem and Atkinson can fix everything. And I kind of have, my reservations about that. And then with the Jared Allen signing, at first, I didn't love it. But hearing today a little bit, it doesn't mean that he's going to be here for 5 years. This maybe makes him, even if he's not here for 5 years or 3 years or whatever, this makes him more of a acceptable, more of a enticing trade target for some other teams. So, me. I've been very vocal about not loving the two big men and the 2 6-foot guards. But I was going to ask you, between, what do you have more of a problem with? If you had to say, all right, we'll keep these 2 guys together, but we have to split these 2 guys up. Do you have more of a problem with Garland and Mobley, or Garland and Mitchell, or Mobley and Allen? And before you answer that, we got a special guest here.
Oh, is she here?
She finally stopped crying. Oh boy, and she's an excited Cleveland fan right now.
Oh my God, what is up, girl? Oh my Lord.
She's got her Browns gear on.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
She's gonna start crying. I'm sure she's gonna start crying here for too long. Unfortunately, she gets
adorable.
She gets that she looks like her dad. Probably too much, so that's unfortunate for her. So hopefully that changes.
Oh, congratulations, brother. She is
Thank
amazing.
you. There it
amazing.
is. She's not crying. She's a good sport. Go Browns. I was teaching her the woof today. So Mama's getting emotional.
Oh, thank you, Mama. Oh my God, my mom even chimed in. Said love her. Justin chimed in. She's so cute. Congratulations,
thank you.
Bryce. She is adorable, man. Adorable.
One more Browns fan in the world.
We gotta keep raising her that way, bud. We cannot let her go to the dark
she
side.
mouthed Ohio State, so she's she knows how to stick it in my back even when I'm celebrating something.
Oh, by the way, I want to stick it to you too. I got to meet Urban Meyer.
No, did you?
Yeah, it came out to the club.
No way.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I have a signed Urban Meyer Ohio State helmet in this house somewhere. Well, I won it somehow. I won it at a raffle somehow, and I tried to sell it, and I wasn't getting anybody buying it for like $60. So I was like, I'll just keep it and I'll try to sell it later. And I think I lost it, so it's somewhere. Did you say hi to did you try to talk him into coming back?
No, not yet. I got to wait till Ryan Day screws up again against Michigan. Then I can talk to him coming back.
Okay, so you're not there yet.
Not there yet. But we're not talking about Ohio State and Michigan.
No, we're not. We're back to my original question. Would you rather keep Mobley and Allen together or Garland and Mitchell together?
See, that's a tough question, but honestly, if it was me, I'd rather keep Mobley and Allen together than Garland and Mitchell. The only reason why is what you're getting with Allen. You're going to get a double-double no matter what happens. Now, it's not going to be extravagant, but he's also a great defensive player down low. He's going to get you the rebounds that you need. And hopefully, if they can actually get Mobley to stretch a little bit to the outside, it will force Mobley to have to stay outside and try to shoot from the outside instead of, because we saw the Boston series, what he can do in down low. We know he can do that, but we need him to shoot outside. We don't need him down low right now. We already have a down low guy. Now with Garland, though, I'd rather see, I don't want that breakup, but if it happens, it's got to happen because Garland, one, is not the same person he was when he got injured. Two, his shot has just, right, it's disappeared. He's not as aggressive as he used to be. And I believe that if they get rid of Garland, they can bring in a big, I think the detrimental of the team is the 2 6-foot guards. I think that's what it is. I think they need, either have Mitchell take the ball up that way and control the ball that way, or at that point in time, they need to have somebody that's 6, the wing player that we've all been clamoring for that we don't have yet. Now, they did draft a guy, but you know what I mean? Like, I think the 2 6-foot guards is the one that's killing us more than the 2 bigs down low.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it's kind of similar, kind of what you're saying there. I would rather have Allen and Mobley because of Evan Mobley and his potential still. Like, there's still potential. Like, right now, I see Mobley and Allen as the same player, and I see Garland and Mitchell as the same player. But with Mobley, his potential can take him to being a stretch 4. Whereas Jared Allen, I think Jared Allen, this is what he's going to be throughout his entire career. I begged him last offseason to put on a lot of muscle and to be more of an enforcer because I don't really think that changes his game at all. He can still play around the basket. He can still be a defensive guy. He can still get up and block shots. But he just didn't do it. He's going to be a nice guy, and he's going to be kind of slight in frame, and he's never really going to push anyone around. So I made peace with that. But if that's the case, we need Mobley to extend his game out to 20 feet, out to 22 feet or something like that. So there's potential there to where they could, separate as not being the same player. Whereas I think with Garland and Mitchell, like, I think if Darius Garland improves a lot, he's Donovan Mitchell. And then we still, even if
we have
Garland,
2 Donovan Mitchells.
Yeah, right. Which, is not a bad thing at all. But you can only have one guy bringing the ball up and distributing the ball. And yeah, it wouldn't be, but you'd still have, even if Garland got a lot better, he wouldn't separate. They would still be the same player. Whereas if Mobley, even the guy we keep comparing him to is Kevin Garnett. And Kevin Garnett, he wasn't the center for those Celtics teams. He had Kendrick Perkins as the 5, as the center, as the enforcer down low. So even though they were both big guys, even though they were both 6'10", 6'11", they're very different. So I think that's the ultimate goal. And the Cavs, like I said, are certainly selling us that Atkinson is just going to make the world a difference. And like I said, to begin, I just have to see it first. To me, it feels like it's Groundhog Day. I feel like this team hasn't gotten any better over the last 2 off seasons. They've experience has helped them a little bit in the playoffs, but I look at teams like Milwaukee last year getting Dame Lillard. They got a lot better. I look at teams like the Sixers getting this year Paul George. Yeah. They got a lot better. The Knicks have made several moves to get better. The Celtics are already the best team, one of the best teams. Last year they brought in Porzingis and they became a championship team. So all these other top flight teams in the East are doing something to get better, and the Cavs are just sitting on their hands saying, well, we're still young. I haven't seen these guys improve enough. And so, I think we're going to stay about the 4th or 5th best team in the East. Colby Altman's going to waste all of our time. I don't know why Dan Gilbert hasn't made a move at GM, but it's going to be the same thing as last season. It's going to be, to me, I don't want to be a huge Debbie Downer here, but there's going to be moments in the regular season where we get excited about this team. They go on a 10-2 run in 3 weeks or something, or they put in, what was it, 18-1 over a stretch. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how do you match up when it's your best versus my best? And if these other teams in the East are healthy, I don't think we have a chance of beating them in a 7-game series.
But I hear you. The only thing I can counterpoint to that, Bri, is yes, you do have a young team, but also at a certain point in time, Milwaukee is going to break up. The Sixers are going to break up. Boston's going to definitely have to break up because they can't afford it anymore. And you still have the Cavs right there that after maybe one season, all these might break up, Bri. Like, I'm being dead serious. So at that point in time, the Cavs are still at a great position. I'm going to be the optimistic one on this. Like, the Cavs are still going to be in a great position. So that might be why they're sitting on their hands a little bit, because they tried to get these guys, but they also realize that they don't need these guys to get to the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, it's a different story, because look at last year. Embiid is always hurt. All right. Milwaukee was dinged up all year. All right. The Knicks just had Brunson. They definitely added a lot of people, but also Brunson took a Tom Brady discount to get that team built up. All right. So there's things that are going on that are out of the Cavs' control right now. And I understand we should add some talent. We got to add some talent. But I think the Cavs right now are kind of just chill of watching what's happening and then making their decision, because no matter what happens, they're going to be in the playoffs next year. They have the talent to be in the playoffs next year. All right. I understand we're wanting championships, everything else like that. But we always said, Bri, it's a process. You got to win that first round. You got to do this next. You got to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. If you look at it last year, Bri, we had a lot of people injured when we got into those series in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, and to me, I think you write your address down on a piece of paper, send it into the Cavs. You should be collecting a check for the Cavs because you're doing the PR for them right there. That's exactly what Colby Altman is going to tell you. Maybe not tell you out loud, but that's what he's thinking.
Oh, I get that.
We just need to wait for the other teams in the East to get old or to get injured. But to me, that's not a strategy.
But Brian, that's what your strategy is.
I know, but that's not a strategy. So the Browns' strategy should just be like, well, Patrick Mahomes has been very healthy over the last 5 years. He's bound to get injured, and then we strike. So like you're okay with sitting back. But and football, I'm not coming after you.
No.
I'm just saying.
But football and basketball are a totally different sport, Brian. It's a totally different animal.
And I understand, but to me, it's just not realistic for that to be your strategy, to say, well, we just need to stay healthy and hope everyone else gets injured. I mean,
God, I love having you back.
No, like I said, I'm not coming after you, but I think that's that. Like, and I understand it's much more difficult to make moves in the NBA than I'm leading on. There may have been absolutely nothing out there. I've told you for months now that Darius Garland's trade value is rock bottom. Nobody wants Darius Garland with that contract.
They might have to wait till the trade deadline to actually do the move that you're wanting to do.
Sure. And I heard today that so Jared Allen just signed this deal, and as part of, I don't know if it's in the deal or maybe it's part of what the NBA has in their contracts, to where from the day you sign the deal, I think Brian Windhurst was talking about this today, from the day you sign the deal, for the next 6 months, you cannot be traded. And so he signed the deal today, August 1st. 6 months from today is February 1st. Mm-hmm. And that's the week before the trade deadline. So they will have a week where they're able to trade Jared Allen. Now, if they do or not, you can't take general managers or head coaches for their word. It's not worth anything. So he claims that he wants to keep these big four together. Well, we'll see after the first couple months if he does. I keep hoping that he'll change his mind because, as I've made it clear, I think they're very talented. I just yeah, I would be fine with them fielding a team rather than 2 6-foot guards and 2 big men who kind of all do the same thing. Not all of them. The 2 guys do the same thing. These 2 guys do the same thing. I would rather have a team, even if they're not as talented. I want a point guard. I want a shooting guard. I want a small forward who's more than 6'5". I want a stretch 4. I want a big man taller than 6'9" or whatever Jared Allen is.
Allen's like 7 foot, dude.
No, with his hair, he's 7. He's not.
Oh, don't
No,
you
he's
start
not that. I'm telling you, go look. Evan Mobley is 7 foot. Go look at the 2 of them side by side. Jared Allen's at least 3 inches shorter than him.
Keep talking. I'm looking this up.
But I mean, regardless of how tall he is, his offensive game is kind of, I don't know. I would want to say non-existent because the dude averages over 15 points a game. But I don't know. I told you I don't watch enough Cavs games, but I'm always kind of, when I see the box scores, I'm kind of always in awe at how he gets his points. Like, well, he can't really shoot. He doesn't have great, like, low post moves. I think he's just in the right place at the right time. And so certainly you can't teach that, but I don't know if you can count on that.
Too, Bri.
Right. I don't know if you can count on that when you need a bucket in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals or something.
Boy, you told me before the show that you wouldn't try to get long-winded, and we're already 28 minutes in, and we're still talking Cavs.
Well, I know nothing about the Guardians other than I do have one bone to pick with them, so we can move on.
All right. By the way, Jared Allen is 6'9". Way to go, Bri. I'm pretty sure he's 7'6" with the hair, though. Good call on that one.
Everyone says, the Cavs have 2 7-footers. No, they don't.
According to Wikipedia, which, take that for the grain of salt that it is.
Right.
All right, Brian, let's get into, so the Guardians have acquired a couple of people at the trade deadline. The last we talked, we did get the first round pick. Travis Bazinga Bazana hit a grand slam yesterday at Lake Captains, and I'm just going to call him Bazinga from now on. He's going to be our Bazinga.
I got my nickname. I got Bazanosaurus.
Bazanosaurus? Nice. That's a great one, dude.
I think I'm going to start pushing it. Maybe I'll get some residuals from that. I gotta make a. What do you? Oh yeah, from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, when he keeps popping out of the ball pit. Bazinga. So they did get that, but they did add Lane Thomas from the Washington Nationals and Alex Cobb, I believe, from the San Francisco Giants. Alex Cobb is a 36-year-old starting pitcher. Last pitch last year, was an all-star last year. Had a hip surgery, had blisters, all that kind of stuff, whatever. We'll see what happens when he gets in here. Also, Lane Thomas, it shores up your outfield. I mean, he's not a – how can I explain it? He led the Nationals last year in home runs. He is a very fast outfielder. He is a very quick person. I think he's going to felt well with this team because he is a right-handed bat that we need, Bri, and a right-handed bat that has some pop. I'm glad that they got him. And the people that go to the Dolans and say, well, you guys didn't do enough this year. All right, first off, this is where I'm stopping everybody on this BS. What else was out there that they could get? Okay, that they could actually truly get. It's not much. There wasn't much on the trade market this year. All right, you want them to go after another first baseman from Toronto that would take over our first baseman that's been playing well this year? I just, with this trade deadline and the way the Guardians did it, they added another starting pitcher. They added a right-handed hitter that crushes left-handed pitching. All right, they did what they had to do right now. And plus, Bri, they're in first place in the entire major league in the record right now. What else do you want them to do? What else do they have to do to prove to you that they are a legit team?
Yeah, I'll keep it real with you. I've never heard of Lane Thomas in my life. I looked up his stats, and I saw he's hitting 253 this year, which is apparently in today's Major League Baseball, like, that's average, 300, I guess.
That's 300. But I'm just saying, like, nobody looks like that. This is how much the game has changed, Brian, that nobody looks at the average before. Like when you and I were growing up, if you hit 300, You were
Yeah.
a great baseball player. Now,
Yeah.
if you hit 250 and have some power and some RBIs, that's all they care about.
It's crazy. I mean, I guess maybe I'm not caught up with the times because I still look at average. Like that's why I think like that's why I'm maybe down more than other people on Josh Naylor because I look at like dude's hitting 239. I mean, back when I was like deep into baseball, you send that guy down to AAA and you don't think about twice about it. If you're hitting 239, you're not a major league player. But now, like you said, apparently now that's acceptable. And I know he still has power, and he gives us a pop. But yeah, I don't know. You'll have to explain. Yeah, I just still don't. What the heck is OPS?
Okay, I still don't know what OPS is. But Brian, with Naylor, I know he's hitting 239. But if you look at it, he's got 22 home runs. But he's got like 78 RBIs or 80 RBIs. He leads first baseman and all of that, Brian. Like, I understand he's in a little bit, he's dinged up. I'm not going to lie. He's dinged up. He sat out a game or two this week just to get right because he's a little sore from something. I don't know what it is. But when he was hot, Bri, he was one of the best hitters. When the Guardians were hot, they're still, Bri, if they go 500 the rest of the year, they're going to end up with like 97 wins, right? 95 wins, something like that. So there's no, unless it's a major collapse, they're making the playoffs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about them making the playoffs. It's about what's happening around them that they have to control. They have to control, like I just told you, Bibee got his shoulder hurt. All right. They're sitting him down for the next start. That can't happen. But also, we look at the rotation, the starting rotation, and how it's not what it used to be, how we expect Cleveland baseball to be for starting rotation, right? But the bullpen, Bri, the bullpen is the best bullpen in the major leagues. Class A, and I'm still going to keep hammering it. That guy should win the Cy Young this year. He is unbelievable lights out, all right? And this team is just fun to watch. Like, this past few weeks have been kind of like into the All-Star and out of the All-Star. They've been kind of like, but they're still fun to watch, Bri, because guess what? No game is completely over with these guys. They keep fighting all the way through, and they've come back and won games that they shouldn't win. They shouldn't win these games. Like the one game, the starting pitcher went 3 innings. Guess what? The bullpen went 6 innings and gave up 1 hit, Bri. 1 hit. Like, that's how good this bullpen is. And guess what? You need to win the World Series. Starting pitching and a bullpen. And you have the back end of the bullpen we got. Now, we still have question marks at the starting pitching right now. But hopefully, guys coming back, you know, we have Logan Allen down trying to get worked out. We have Tristan McKenzie down trying to get worked out. We got, who's the guy? Matt Boyd, who just came off of Tommy John, who's ramping back up to come back. And then we got Alex Cobb. So we're throwing arms at the situation to see if we can just eat up innings. Because all we need, Bri, 5 or 6 innings out of our starters and let the bullpen take over.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with everything. It's hard. Admittedly, so I'm a fringe Indians Guardians fan. Keep track of the scores, but it's just hard for me to really focus in for 162 games. And maybe and I understand, you know, there's diehards out there that love it every single, but to me it feels like a full-time job. So I'll jump in, I'll jump out, and then, you know, if they're good in September and October, I'll watch every single pitch and I'll be rooting hard for them. So like, it's hard for me because we're not the Yankees, we're not the Dodgers, we don't have these big names that everyone knows. Like, what is this team great at? Like, I think I hear that their bullpen is great, maybe the best in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, as like a football fan trying to, you know, or baseball related to football terms, to me, that's like having a great special teams, like having the #1 special teams in the NFL. Like that, okay, that's great, but that's not going to win you all these games. Like, how are they winning all these games?
But yet you say that, but special teams does wins. If you had Justin Tucker, let's put it this way, doing what you're doing right now, all right, Justin Tucker right now is a Cleveland Guardians bullpen. No matter what, it is clutch every time it goes out.
Sure, but you can't put Justin Tucker on the Colts, and they're the best team. They have the best record in the league.
No, but I get that. But also you have leadoff batter who's batting over 300. All right,
Sure.
getting on base. They do steal bases like crazy. They're aggressive base running team, right? They are a very, very good defensive baseball team. They don't give up a lot. And then also they are a timely team. People on base, they do the smart things. They don't try to, I wouldn't say like the Yankees try to hit home runs every 5 seconds and all that stuff. They try to do that training and getting people to run around, trying to do like I watched Austin Hedges like a couple weeks ago, Bri, lay down a sacrifice bunt for a run. Like it was just like, okay, well, where would that come from? Because they were playing off of him. Like he just laid down the perfect bunt, scored a run. And it was like, okay, here we go. Like that was great. Like they just do what they need to do. And plus, Bri, with all these big names and everything else with all these teams, this is a legitimate team. They play for each other. They really do play for each other. They get so hyped when other people get the accolades and all this stuff. And then, Brian, here's another accolade. Jose Ramirez took down your guy, number 2 in all-time home runs in Cleveland
I saw that.
Guardians history. Like, you know, like this team is a special team, Brian. I think this team reminds me a lot of 2016 because 2016 you had starting pitching, but then if you look at the back end of the bullpen, you know,
right.
Andrew Miller, all that stuff, you had that. All right.
Do we have an Andrew Miller? We have a Cody Allen. Do we have an Andrew Miller? Do we have a go-to guy in the 8th inning?
The thing is though, Bri, is we have like 3 or 4 of those guys to go in the 8th inning. We can match up.
But who's the best? The guy you know you're going to go to get to Class A, because if you get to Class A with the lead, we're golden. Do we have that guy who you know you can count on in the 8th?
I believe it would probably be Hunter Gaddis.
Gaddis, okay. Start paying attention to him.
For me, yes, but there's also like 3 other names out there. You got Sandlin, who has done great. Vila is their long relief pitcher. He's done a lot of 3 or 4 innings in between. He's got some good stuff. Who is the other one that's slipping my mind right now? And he's a kid. He is seriously a kid. He's like 22 years old, and I can't think of his name now. But like, there's other guys there that can actually step up and, you know, help out this bullpen. So we have the closer, we have the setup. It's just we got to make sure that all the greens are right. And plus, Bri, here's the fruition: 162 games. People got to stay healthy.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, and you know, Jose's doing Jose type things, and he's a superstar, and maybe we just don't. I don't recognize it. I don't give him enough credit because the national media would rather talk about Yankees and Dodgers and Red Sox. And okay, so to get off that and to get on the other like major thing that happened while I was gone was the number 1 pick, Bazana. To me, again, not knowing a ton about baseball and analytics and all that, it was a no-brainer to take the kid from Georgia, Condon, because he had the best. I think he had the best average in the country. He had the most home runs in the country, and he played in the best league in the country. So he's not like inflating these numbers against, you know, these small schools or anything. So there was talk about, well, maybe the Guardians are doing this to try to save money. I don't understand why that would be the case. Is it not like football to where these guys are slotted?
No. So they have a signing bonus and everything else. So they're not slotted. All right. They're sort of slotted. Like there's like a max, like it's weird with baseball, Bri. It is. But
why would like Condon cost more than Bazana? Like Bazana would take less money because Condon's a better player?
Well, I think Bazana took less money because it was Cleveland. I think he wanted to come to Cleveland. But that's
really
that is negotiations between the agents and the teams. He could take as much money as he wants. So can Con. So it all depends on how it goes. But with these 2 picks, the 2 guys that you're talking about, Bri, that, you know, the Guardians should have taken number 1. For me, at this point in time, you have Bazana. If everything is right, what they're saying about this kid, he will be playing second base for the Guardians next June. Like, that's how good he is.
Yeah, and that's great. But if he's not as good of a player as Condon, then I'm going to be pissed off because you had the number one pick.
Because, well, and that works out all the time. You can have the number one pick all the time, Bri, but I mean, you're not going to get. Hey, Browns had the number one pick. They got Baker Mayfield. Is he
well,
here?
and that's why maybe I'm upset because the clear, common sense pick would be to get the guy that I was talking about. Has better batting average, has more home runs, played in a tougher conference. That's clear to take him. But the analytics say to take this guy because we're smarter than you are.
You know why the analytics say that? That kid only had 1 year of good baseball. This guy played for the Australian national team. He played semi-pro baseball.
But it's Australia. Yeah, but what's Australia?
But then
it's Iran.
And Jesus.
I'm saying, like, what's Australia? The 30th best league in the world.
But I get you. I'm trying to be I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of people. It was a coin flip. Let's just put
it would honestly, and this shouldn't have anything to do with it, but it does. It would be Condon. I would think would be more marketable because he is American. And he is a large stature, and he's going to hit these monster home runs. So I would think, for your marketing team to get people excited about your team, that would be the guy. Like every common sense thing that I can come up with points to this one guy, but analytics and us being cheap points to this guy over here. And I still don't understand why this guy would take less money than Condon, but that was a discussion, and it's unfortunate that it was. So, time will prove it out. Either I'm going to look like an idiot because, it seems very clear to me, or they're going to look like idiots because they overthought it. So, it's just frustrating.
I can bring the boys from At the Corner podcast on, and they can explain.
Well, no, because I think sometimes, and I see this with the Cavs too. Sometimes people that are diehards about like a sport, they get too into it, and they're probably into analytics as well. They'll probably bring out WHIP and OPS, even though neither one of us know what that means. And me looking through my common sense eyes, this guy has higher average and more home runs. So why not go with that guy? And to relate it to the Cavs, I think people buy into, well, we got to develop this. We got to develop it. And the NBA to me is like, no, you just get the best players. Screw development. You get the best players for your team this year. And that's what the Bucks did last year when they got Damian Lillard. That's what the Sixers did this year when they get Paul George. We're trying to field the best team this year. We're not trying to develop all these guys for 3-4 years down the road when maybe, hopefully they stay and hopefully they progress as much as we want. Because, I think the diehards maybe are too close to it sometimes, and they buy into the process rather than, hey, let's just get the best guys for this year.
Now you got long-winded with the Cavs. I got long-winded with
Of course.
And do you want to apologize to your wife now, or are we just going to do it later?
Easier to ask for forgiveness later.
All right. So let's get into the Cleveland Browns, Brian. All right. Camp has started up in West by God, Virginia at the Greenbrier. We did get news today that D'Onta Foreman got carted off, stabilized, flown to a hospital in Virginia. He is now back with the team, but a scary scene today with D'Onta Foreman. Also, we have talks of the JOK extension coming out now. Chris is here now. Of course, Chris shows up for Browns talk. So Chris,
hey, Chris.
So JOK extension might be happening here soon, which I believe it is well deserved. What do you think, Bri?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is at this point. It's crazy how NFL guys are just cashing in. Like, I can never remember this offseason. It's like every other day we get news that somebody else is the highest paid at their position.
Jordan Love.
We can get a Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa. Like, I'm not sure these guys are top 10 quarterbacks, but now they're the highest paid guys in at their position or in NFL history. And so, Tristan Wirfs was today the highest paid offensive lineman. So JOK is going to be right up there. I mean, even though you have to pay them right now and hope that they continue to get better or at least sustain their success, because JOK, I mean, he was viewed, if you can remember this time last year, he was kind of viewed as a little bit of underwhelming linebacker for us. And then he turned in the season he did last year, and it's like, okay, we have a top 10 linebacker.
Yeah, one of the best players on defense for us.
Right. And so if he's smart, he cashes in right now.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one that showed up for that Texans playoff.
Oh, you're damn right. Yeah, absolutely about that. Yeah, don't go back and watch that. You'll puke all over yourself.
All right, so here's some more Browns news that have come out. The city has offered a $461 million renovation bill to the Cleveland Browns for the city or for the stadium downtown. Bri, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, even though we love pig around here because we are legal ham. Bri, I really do believe the way everything's been talking, and especially the way that Jimmy and Dee talked at the Greenbrier about this. Bri, I think that dome is getting built, and I think it's getting built in Brook Park.
I would take it. Yeah, I mean, signs kind of continue to point to that is happening. The sucky part is we'll probably still have to wait 5 years to really enjoy it. But yeah, I think I heard Daryl Ryder say today that even if they do renovate the old stadium, you still have max 20 years that you can get out of it. So why put $1 billion into something that you're only going to get 20 years out of? Doesn't make sense to me.
All right, so here's the question. I told you beforehand, buddy, and this is going to be a hot topic. By the way, do you have a beer?
I do, but I could use another one.
All right, you want to go get another beer?
Yeah, but I can hear you. Keep talking.
Okay, so Justin said, Bri, have a celebratory beer on me while I get a massage. So that has started back up. Big fella.
All right, hold on. I need to grab another one here.
All right. Now, Bri, this next question I'm about to ask, all right, and it's not a detriment to the person or the Browns or anything else. This is a true, legitimate question because of the way the NFL is, Bri. We have 3 years of our starting quarterback, bud. He has played
2 years.
Well, is it just 2?
Yeah, he got suspended the first year and injured last year.
So technically, I thought this is his 4th year coming up.
No. So he's played a total of 12 games, I think.
I wouldn't
6 and 6.
say that. I think it's 6 or 7.
No, he played 6 the first year, and then he played maybe 5 or 6 last year. I don't know. I can never the stats will say one thing, but really, nobody really counts the indie game as him playing.
Okay, let's just make sure of this as we're doing.
Well, I'd say 11 or 12.
Okay. So he's played. All right, so 2 years here in Cleveland. Okay, I got it. All right, so the reason why I'm asking, this is his 3rd year. All right, obviously this is a make or break year for Deshaun Watson, no matter what happens. We both agree on that, right?
Oh, of course.
All right, so with that being said, the question I ask is not detrimental to Deshaun Watson and his personality, all this other stuff. I'm leaving all that, but this is a true fan question to you, Brian. Will Deshaun Watson ever play a full season for the Cleveland Browns? Now, the reason why I ask it is because we've had quarterbacks injured, people are taking time off, everything else. Brian, we paid $230 million for this man. Is he ever going to play a full season for the Cleveland Browns?
Probably not. No. I mean, even look at, has Lamar Jackson ever played? The guys will sit out even if they play, 13, 14 games. That's kind of viewed as a full season, but it's really not a full season. A lot of times guys will miss 1 or 2 games. Yeah, no.
And I
mean, the way he plays, you could have he could have an ankle injury or something one time, or maybe held out for a concussion or something, or concussion protocol. Yeah, I think probably not, but that doesn't mean that he's going to suck.
No, it doesn't mean he's going to suck. I'm just asking, like, because we have not seen him for a full season. We've seen him for like 12 games, Bri. Like, and even those 2 years, 12 games, still not a full season. Like, I just want to see him for an extended period of time that we can actually get a true judgment on Deshaun Watson. We get
yeah, you
and
can.
Then
sure.
Everybody goes to the second half of the Baltimore game all the time. Like, look how good he did the second half of the Baltimore game. Well, I could do the same shit with Baker Mayfield for the second half of the season after the bye week when Baker Mayfield took the team to, the playoffs. Like, whoop-de-doo. It's one game. It's not even one game.
Well,
it's like a quarter and a half.
And that's where we're at with Deshaun right now. We're still, a lot of us are still, well, the people that want to give Deshaun a chance are still on that high from the Baltimore game, just like we were still on the high after the Kansas City game in the playoffs that we lost. We're all in. If you recall, I said after that Kansas City game, the months to follow, I said, pay Baker Mayfield. We found our quarterback. Well, the problem was then we had that following season, and then we kind of all started falling back down. So if Deshaun Watson has a season like Baker did, then, we're all going to come back down, and we're going to be like, even me who tries to give Deshaun as many chances as possible because he's the Browns quarterback. And, we've talked before, I was miserable rooting against Johnny Manziel, So at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to root for the Browns. I'm going to root for whoever's on the team. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And a lot of people have kind of jumped off, or maybe they've kind of thrown in the towel with Deshaun. But yeah, if Deshaun proves that he's just no good and he has a season like Baker did in 2021, then I'm back.
All right.
Sorry. So that's why I said last year that Deshaun, these damn pop-ups, Deshaun was under the most pressure. Sorry, keep cutting in and out for any Cleveland athlete ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, if you think back to the Baker 2021 season, Baker lost us games with his play. Last year, Deshaun did not lose us games with his play. His play was not always great, but look at his win-loss record. That's my rebuttal to people that want to hate on him. Well, it was really that guy. It was this guy. Yeah, but he didn't lose you games. He wasn't turning the ball over. He wasn't throwing 4 interceptions. He wasn't on the field. He threw the ball 25 times. You can't throw 4 interceptions throwing the ball 25 times. Go look at Baker's numbers against Green Bay. He handed them the game. Go look at Baker's play against the Baltimore Ravens that year. Lamar threw 4 interceptions, and we lost the game. So,
Brian, I get what you're saying, but also a lot of
no, you don't. Apparently not. He did not lose us games. I don't know what you want from a quarterback, but I want a quarterback to win games.
Okay. So at that point in time, so the defense wasn't there. They didn't play those. Deshaun won.
I didn't say that. What did I say? I said Deshaun did not lose you games. And I didn't say Deshaun won you games. I did not say he won you games.
And Brian, you also got to take away 2 of those games because Deshaun Watson stepped out after like the first 3 series. So it wasn't even him.
Which two games are you talking about?
The Colts game. He started like two plays.
I don't give him credit for the Colts game.
But you're giving credit.
What other game? What other game are you talking about?
Oh my God, I love you.
Yeah. Because I'm going to call you out when you throw out these BS facts. 2 games. No, there was 1 game. I don't give him credit for that game.
I get what you're saying, Bri, but it's not all about the record. It's also about quarterback play because guess what? It's more than a team. And
to me, it's about the record.
Okay. So that's how you're going to judge Deshaun Watson is on his record.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
At least we draw that. So I'm bookmarking that right now as we're talking.
Sure.
So you're just
as a Browns fan, I don't know what more you want. Like you would rather have him have a 105 quarterback rating, but we finished the season 7-9. That would make you feel better. No, I'd rather take 12-5 and him have a quarterback rating of 80.
I see where you're coming from because I'm starting to get upset about it because I'm sitting there thinking like, well, we paid him $230 million. I didn't pay him shit. So like,
you didn't pay him, and guess what? He's the 9th highest paid quarterback right now, 10th highest paid quarterback. So everyone wants to bring up the money, but really it's kind of, if he can be a top 10 quarterback, he returns value. He doesn't have to be the number one.
And I you know something, Brian? We're just agreed to disagree right now.
It's crazy to me that Browns fans who want to see the Browns win, and then when the Browns win, they want to pick apart what parts I didn't like about that Browns win. No, I'm not spoiled. I remember 1-31. I'll take a Browns win, however it looks. PJ Walker against the 49ers. That was awesome. I love that game. PJ Walker looked like crap. I don't care.
But your expectations were for that game that the Browns were not going to win that game because PJ Walker was the quarterback, correct?
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely. But also, don't forget, Deshaun Watson did not have a healthy Nick Chubb other than one game. So he had Amari Cooper, and we all think David Njoku is a great tight end right now, but first 3.5 years of his career, he was not.
Well, let's see here. When did he become a great tight end, Bri? When Joe Flacco took over and ran Kevin Stefanski's offense to a fucking T. That's what happened. Deshaun Watson cannot run Kevin Stefanski's offense. That's why Van Pelt got fired and they brought in Dorsey just to make Deshaun look good right now.
Joe Flacco throws an incredible deep ball. He will till he's probably 50 years old.
And exactly.
So he listen. He just sat back there. Yeah, there's not many quarterbacks in the league that can throw a deep ball like that. So you got lucky that you found the guy who happened to be on his cat, like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Flacco's probably top 10. So he throws a tremendous deep ball. And what happens when he throws that tremendous deep ball? Everybody has to respect that and sag back. So what does that do? That opens the middle of the field to where, David Njoku can catch a 5-yard curl route and take it 30 yards because there's nobody in the middle. So I understand that that Joe Flacco did what he did, but I don't know if that's sustainable. But like I said, he throws a tremendous deep ball, and so for those however many weeks that he played, teams didn't adjust to that, or when they did, they adjusted too much, and the middle of the field was wide open. That's why David Njoku looked. I mean, go look at his best catches. They weren't, they were because he was wide open, and he caught a ball and he ran it 25 yards.
God, I love you. You are just, something. It has definitely been a while since you have been back, and I'm loving every minute of this.
You're trying to look to last year, and I'm trying to look to next year and trying to be positive here. And I don't know what next year's going to hold, but I think yes, you're saying that. Well, they had to fire Van Pelt and hire Ken Dorsey. Okay, yeah, good. I'm happy about that. Ken Dorsey had Cam Newton. Ken Dorsey had Josh Allen. These mobile quarterbacks succeeded. Now, Kevin Stefanski's offense, your pocket quarterback, you chuck it deep. That's worked last year. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. It's not going to work this year. Deshaun Watson doesn't throw the deep ball like Joe Flacco does. Sorry, choked up here. So yeah, I'm excited about it. But Stefanski's still calling the plays, so who knows what to expect.
All right, but give me a minute. I'll be down. All right, take that down with you. No, I get what you're saying. It just Browns fans everywhere just need to get to this season and just start watching football. That's all it is, Bri. Because right now it is just a back and forth. Just he said, she said, everything else. Everybody has their own opinions. All I know is Deshaun Watson needs to play great this year, and he needs to play great for the Cleveland Browns for at least 12 games instead of just 6. And getting injured. Now, my whole deal with Ken Dorsey coming in, it's not that I'm not a fan of Ken Dorsey, but you sat there and said, well, he's coached these quarterbacks. Well, yeah, Brian, well, he also got fired right in the middle of the season, and Buffalo went on a run and made the playoffs. So he had Josh Allen as a team. running that offense, and he got fired right in the middle of that year. And now he is our offensive coordinator. Well, technically, he's not even our.
he's
Stefanski's
our
calling
offensive
plays
coordinator.
again. No, Stefanski's calling plays again.
But this is my opinion, even before the Browns hired him, to me, he was their scapegoat. And because they had lost a couple, remember they lost the game to the Broncos because they had too many guys on a field goal that they missed, and then so they got to kick it again. So like a couple losses like that start piling up, and everyone starts pointing the finger. Well, you have to get rid of somebody, so they get rid of Ken Dorsey. And what was the biggest problem with Buffalo's offense? Josh Allen turns the ball over too much. Is that, if you want to pin that to Ken Dorsey, then maybe you might be right, but to me, that's on the quarterback.
When they started running the ball, they started winning, Bri. If you remember last season for Buffalo,
right, they did get very pass happy.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why Stefanski didn't want to give him the reins of the offense, because he thought maybe he might get too pass happy. And if that's the case, I'm happy about that, because you have to utilize Nick Chubb.
Well, what is he? He's a former quarterback from Miami. What do you expect he's going to get pass happy? He doesn't think anything of running backs.
And I'll say it again. Don't believe all the people that are telling you that Nick Chubb won't be ready until November. Those are the same people that – I don't know about week one.
Week one, baby.
But those were the exact same people that told you every single day Ken Dorsey is going to be calling plays. They said, "No, Ken Dorsey, he's calling plays." Yeah, he's calling. They know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. Unless the Browns are telling them to say that, they know nothing, because the Browns might be trying to tamper down expectations on Nick Chubb, because if you tell people he's coming back in November, he comes back at the end of September, everyone's going to be throwing a party for this guy. So Nick Chubb is different. People are lowering their expectations for him, but I still think he's going to be a huge part of our offense.
All right. So, Bri, the last but not least, before we finish out, Week 18 has been proposed to the NFLPA. Bri, what do you think about 18 weeks of the NFL?
Where do I sign? Take my money 100%. Oh, 100%. After this offseason has been, even though we've had the Guardians and the Cavs be successful, it still feels like I'm thirsting for something else. I just can't wait for football. So yeah, I think eventually there will be that point to where, maybe 22, maybe 24 games is too much, but certainly not 18. And what I love about it is you add an extra game and you give them an extra bye. So really we have 2 extra weeks of football. So we have 20 weeks of football, 18 games and 2 byes. Yeah, 100%. All about it.
My big thing is add an extra week of training camp to get these guys ready, right? And I know that, there's lines between that. 2 preseason games, that's all we need. All right, then start the season. Give them 2 byes. Give them, each team one at the first half and one at the second half. You have 9 weeks. Each team gets a bye in the first half. Each team gets a bye in the second half, depending on where that bye sets up, right? Or have a universal bye for the whole NFL.
I don't want to rub it in here, but they're about to start the Hall of Fame game, and they got the new kickoff. So I'm kind of watching to see what this is all about. This is kind of cool.
All right. We got it.
I'll give a play-by-play. Oh, he got to the 26-yard line.
All right, perfect. So normal.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so Brian, let's get into our top 3. All right, so we can get you off here so I don't get yelled at. All right, I don't want to get yelled at tonight. So let's do our top 3. We'll close it out, and I do have one quick trivia for you at the end of this.
Sure.
All right, Brian. So top 3 tonight is Browns players with high expectations this year. Now, I kind of put a stipulation on it. Deshaun Watson is not one of them. But give me 3 Browns players that you are looking at this year that need to step up. High expectations for you.
Okay, here we go. Number 3 for me is JOK.
Okay.
He's got to prove to me that it wasn't just a one-hit wonder, that he's going to be worth this giant contract that we're getting ready to give him. And he's going to have to take reins of the defense because Anthony Walker was kind of the leader of the defense. And, Hicks coming in, he's kind of that veteran, so he can kind of
Bush too.
he can run. Yeah, and Bush too. But Hicks is kind of that field general that we've been looking for, and he's had experience with Schwartz's defense. But so JOK, just keep making plays, keep doing what you did last year, and maybe take a little bit more of a leadership role. So he's my number 3. My number 2, kind of similar thoughts to JOK. He kind of had a little bit of a breakout year last year, but I need to see more. David Njoku. We're paying him a ton of money, top 5 tight end money, I think, and so far he's produced half a good season. He's made some spark plays here and there, but I need him to be top 5 tight end, and so he has the ability. He just needs to be a little more consistent. So he was my number 2. My number 1, another guy who just got a big contract. Well, compared to other wide receivers, maybe not a huge contract, but Jerry Jeudy. They traded for him. They invested years in him, and so far to this point in his career, for a first rounder, for all the hype he had coming out of Alabama, he's been a bit of a disappointment. And the Browns stuck their chest out there, stuck their neck on the line and said, this guy's going to be good. We're willing to commit to him for 3 years, which they were not willing to do for Amari Cooper. So they expect him to be the number 1 next year. So that starts now.
All right. That's a great top 3, Brian. My top 3, number 3 for me is Jerome Ford. I think he really needs, not to say he didn't step up last year, but I think he needs to take the next level. He needs to go to the next level for this team. So Jerome Ford for me. Number 2, same lines with you. Browns gave up a lot to get him. Elijah Moore. I need Elijah Moore to step up, be the slot receiver for this team, and be that guy in the middle that Jarvis was when he was here. And Bri, number 1 for me, and it's going to be number 1 because it is a key position for this team this year. Jed Wills. I need to see something from Jed Wills this year. Now, the only reason why I say it, I know it's his last year. I know all this stuff. They picked up his 5th-year option for a reason. I want to see one good year of Jed Wills before I give up on a kid and go try to find another left tackle. It's not that he's horrible, Bri. He still needs work, right? I just need to see a good year from Jed Wills this year.
So let's play that out. Just out of curiosity, like, say he does have a good year, do you consider re-signing him?
See, the thing
knowing what Tristan Wirfs just got,
I know
like,
what
he wouldn't get more than that, but it would be at least 20 mil, I would think, if he had a good year.
I would. It depends on how his year went this year.
It puts you in a precarious position because you have Juwan Jones, you have Conklin, I think, locked up for the next 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, which I'm still upset about that contract.
Yeah, to me, and you can answer about Jed Wills. To me, the Browns should really use this year. I mean, it throws a wrench in it, the fact that Conklin might not be ready at the start of the year. Because if he was ready at the start of the year, to me, you have Conklin on the right, you have Jed Wills on the left, and you take this year to groom Juwan Jones to be your left tackle of your future. And then
maybe switch Jed over to the right?
No, because you let Jed walk and you have Conklin for a couple years. I mean, assuming he can stay healthy, which is a big assumption. But you have Juwan Jones on the left and you have Conklin on the right, and you give Juwan Jones this entire year, and he'll probably end up playing. You have him kind of be like your swing tackle, but you get him comfortable with playing that left side, and then you're getting a prime left tackle dirt cheap for the next 2 years.
I agree. So I just, right now it's just, I think that kid, and he had the biggest shoes to fill ever, I believe, when he got drafted. You're taking over for a first ballot Hall of Famer,
right?
Staple here in Cleveland. I bet you if he was anywhere else other than Cleveland, I think he would be okay to a good to great tackle, not like elite. But when you're filling Joe Thomas's shoes, dude, the expectations for left tackle, especially after the years that Joe Thomas gave us, dude, they're exponential. I just feel bad for him because he walked into that situation.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly. And I guess because the reason I disagree with you is he had the best offensive. He came from Nick Saban's offense.
Mm-hmm.
So the best college football head coach. He came to Cleveland, best offensive line coach in the league, and he had a Hall of Fame guard right next to him.
But also,
so he had every opportunity that you could ask for.
Didn't he play right tackle at Alabama?
That's true. Yep.
Good point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think it's just a dynamic. We'll see what happens with Jed Wills coming up. Brian, let's close out our show. The one little quick trivia nugget I got for you, Brian, when was the last time that all three teams in Cleveland made the playoffs in a calendar year?
Golly. No, the Browns did in '94, but I think that was the strike-shortened year for the Tribe. It's got to be back in the 80s. I'll say 88.
1995. You're right on it, brother.
95. Okay.
The 95 Indian season.
So that the 94 Browns, technically, they made the playoffs in 95.
So the 95 year, the Cavs, the Browns, and the Guardians / Indians made the playoffs. That was one little nugget that I got from Nick Carnes today. So that was definitely a fun one. All right, Brian, we're here at the end of our show, buddy. I got to get you out of here so I don't get spanked later. All right. So, Bri, it's been a while since I have said this to you. Bri, God bless them.
God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. And go Browns.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Please go check out Lake Erie APA and Hero Keel, City Dogs Cleveland, Network 216. Give us likes, subscribes, 5-star ratings, whatever. Also, you can catch our audio on Spotify. Just search for Illegal Ham to the Face. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. See you guys next week.
Believe.